Welcome back and thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to show you how anyone can easily capture those advanced cinematic shots with any DJI drone coming up.
This is the hour, the darkest place. Dante's Inferno, the devil's maze. It's a good world, good world going bad.
So guys, the goal for today is to capture those sweet drone shots that capture the advanced cinematic movement. And when I say cinematic movement, I'm referring to those controller movements that really capture three different axis movements at the same time. That can be the right stick combined with the left stick combined with the camera movement, or it can be the right stick, moving in a certain direction, and the left stick moving up and down and panning left or right at the same time. So typically, most people don't multitask very well, myself definitely included in that. Much better for me if I can kind of limit that down to one or two things at a time. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, the thing that I found that's tricky with the Mavic Air is sometimes it still can be twitchy, even if you tweak the gain settings and things like that, and the EXP settings. Along with that, there's also the gimbal. The gimbal wheel in the Mavic Air, in my opinion, is a little bit twitchy. Even when you slow that down in the gimbal settings, it still can be a little bit twitchy because it's just such a small little plastic dial. I've tried to slow it down and it still seems to be twitchy for me sometimes. Again, that might just be me, it might just be my controller. Let me know in the comments if you guys experience the same thing. But I've been messing around with the Mavic Air, just trying to tweak some of these other settings. So let's see what we can do about it. So guys, when I was first thinking about putting this video together, I was thinking about actually using the TapFly free mode for that purpose, and I'm not able to get a smooth rotation on the gimbal when I'm using TapFly in the free mode. Okay, so since the TapFly was not very helpful for me to do the advanced cinematic moves, I had to dig a little bit deeper, and I came up with going back to cinematic mode. This is a mode that I have not recommended in the past because it increases the braking speed needed before it actually slows down to a stop. But this is a great mode when you want to use the advanced cinematic moves, because typically these are going to be shots that are up high above the trees, large landscape or large cityscape type settings. And what I found with the cinematic mode is it actually allows you to have more play when you're letting off the toggle switches. So I've got the cinematic settings set and reduced so that when I'm going left or right or up or down on any one of these toggles, the middle area of each of the toggle is a little bit more dead, so there's a little bit more float there. But when you let off the toggle, it still kind of flicks back to to the center point. And so in cinematic mode, I feel like when I'm flying that, when I'm letting off the toggle switch, that is a little bit adjusted as well to give a little bit more play when you're letting go of the toggle switch, instead of just when you're adding input into the toggle switch. I hope that makes sense. And so when I'm doing cinematic mode, there's just a lot more float all the way around. And that's what I'm going for. Let me show you a couple examples of how I have it set up in cinematic mode. Okay guys, endless variations here. This is a simple fly forward with a rolling pan to the left. This is a slightly more difficult shot. I'm raising in altitude and yawing to the right while flying backwards and slightly to the left. Thirdly, this is a punch-in type shot. I'm flying forward relatively fast and decreasing altitude at the same time while slightly bringing the camera up just a bit. Okay, so the second mode aside from using cinematic mode, is to use a third-party app, and that app is called Lychee. Now, a lot of you, I'm sure, already know about Lychee. It's been out for 2 to 3 years, but it's an excellent app. There's a lot of you guys that are out there that are new to flying, so if you haven't seen this before, you definitely want to check out Lychee when you get the chance. And it is a way of fully automating your flight. So, for example, you can set a point A over here, and you can have your camera setting in a certain direction, fly on a line and mark a point over here, another waypoint, and have your camera setting at a slightly different angle. And by using a feature within the app called the interpolate feature, the camera is going to be angled in such a way starting out in point A, and then as it moves over to point B, it can, like if you wanted to be facing down, as you're moving over to point B, it'll slowly be coming up to your finish point, and it's totally smooth. And so that is another way, an excellent way that you can get as good of results, if not better, because you're taking all those variables out and automating it. A lot of folks say, yeah, but that's, you're wasting battery time because you got to go out and set the waypoints. In this case, not so much, because you're just doing a point A to a point B shot, and basically doing camera angle 1 up to camera angle 2, and you're panning smoothly to that second camera angle. Versus if I do, normal mode in the DJI Go 4 app, I typically have to do the shot 4 or 5 times before I get it to come out, perfectly in the end. So those are 3 great ways to really get into doing these multi-axis advanced shots. One is obviously doing the normal mode, and the key here is just to practice it over and over and over. A little bit easier way to do that is to go into cinematic mode, and that smooths out the controller significantly, and so it's more like you're kind of floating. And so it's not, don't think of it as just your brakes are floating more. It's the input and the releasing of the input on the sticks that is reduced as well. So for me, that's very helpful. I hope it is for you guys as well. And then the third option is to do the Lychee app. Highly recommend that. It's kind of an expensive app. I forget how much it is. It's probably like $20 to $50 as an app, but it's really nice. You can plan all kinds of automated flights with this app, and it's excellent. I've never had any issues with it. So guys, thanks for watching. I really hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any tips to do these complicated advanced cinematic shots. I would love to hear from you guys. There's always new ways of doing things, so I really want to hear what you guys are doing to do these complicated shots. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.
It's a good world. Good world going.